Check. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting started here in a second. Stay tuned. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up, loud and clear. Give me a comment in the message. Give me a comment. Yes, you can hear me. Where are you in the world? Go ahead and respond to that question. We're going to kick this thing off here. And we're getting started with transformations. So we can get a few people on. Go ahead and share the link, and we'll go ahead and get started. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Let's make sure I'm coming in loud and clear. Yes, I am. Welcome aboard. I'm Dr. Kevin Jarena. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment back. Yes, you can hear me. I know I like to get my voice out there. So, woo! It's been a time out there. Can you feel the vibe? Can you feel the energy? Excuse me. I just went for a big run and I worked hard. I like to push myself to the limits. I've been involved in sports my whole life. That's actually what got me in some of the trouble that I found myself in when it came to head injuries and the nature of the recovery of that. And with that being said, I'm proud to report there are holistic ways to get that done and to get life sorted back out and back into full swing. And so let's get things going on. We are talking tonight. That's right, transformations, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I had that in the back pocket. I wanted to share that tonight. And this is a time for transformations. And there's so much I wanted to show you. However, the key component in all of this is the journey within. And that's exactly why I talk about Decode Your Pain. Because it is about learning the awareness game of what the importance of pain is in your life and the meaning behind it. So let's dive into that material a little bit tonight. And we're going into, boy, where are we? I believe chapter 8 tonight. Yes. Change your story, change your life. And we're going to dive into that here. Let's take a look at a few things. And that's the inside cover of the page there. And I got the book right here for you. And in fact, you can go right to the shop. Now, how do you get to the shop? You go to drkeving.com. You see it scrolling right there at the bottom. Let me back out of this page right here. And this is where you land right there. And all you need to do, you can explore a little bit. I put a lot of effort and a lot of time putting things together in different components. And this is a little more old school version of a website. However, there's a lot of great information here. You can see some of the courses I run, some of the information. This is a talk I did, and I had, it was so much fun putting it together. I had a time limit of 11 minutes or 12 minutes. And it was really a concept I wanted to share. I really honed the message there. And although the audio is not the best, if you can bear with me in this audio, it's one of my favorite presentations I ever put together. That's right there on the homepage, drkeving.com. And I work in posture correction, the most specific and predictable and reliable method out there. And I have my special twist on things because of some of the unique trainings I've had. And yes, I'm a certified energy hero at multiple different things, multiple levels. And I specialize in different nutritional components and protocols. I am in the practice of myself, knowing that there's mind, body, spirit, and soul. And there's components of my experience and components of my training that have led me to deeper knowledge on all these things. In fact, if you'd like, I highly recommend going to the Four Foundations Facebook group. I believe I have a link here. Let me grab it real quick while I'm chatting. And we'll get down to business here. So here we go. Now, there are some concepts I want to start with. And let me back out here. Well, actually, this might be the perfect place to start. The whole idea here is what happens when you cut yourself? Think about it for a minute. You fall down. We've all done it. We scraped our knee. We've got paper cuts. We've done silly things in the kitchen, fire, whatever it may be. You have injured yourself. And lo and behold, oftentimes, especially when I was younger, I didn't pay much attention to it getting well. Yes, it may even have dirt in it. Nonetheless, the body healed it. There's a natural force within that is active all the time, that is present. Now, some people, well, ask yourself this question, Ask yourself this question. Do you agree or disagree with that? Is that a reality in life? So healing, the concept here is healing is based on these simple truths. The body is self-healing and self-regulating. Now, I invite you to think about also going out in the weather. There's no conscious thought that's required for the body to start shivering or sweating. It just happens automatically. There's a regulation control that's automatic, and it's based on the ability of the body to sense its own environment. Again, I invite anyone out there to essentially disagree or agree. Ask yourself that question. You have the experience. You live in your body. Now think about, there is a reality of life here. There's a tang of morbidness to this. However, it proves the point. And ask a hunter, technically ask your biology teacher. Maybe you've had the frog experiment back when they were doing frog experiments in the classroom. I've actually heard some funny stories about people's frogs coming back to life. However, cutting a corpse, seeing roadkill, essentially slicing a steak. Does that heal? I invite the same question. Essentially, do you agree or disagree? So let's continue briefly. Let's look at what is autoregulation, self-regulation. Hearts, liver, kidneys, spleen, pancreas, bladder, all the brain organs and brain function, lymph nodes. These are all things are happening automatically. And this is at the organ level. There's much more deep. There's more macro and more micro. There's higher and lower levels within that. So nonetheless, let's continue. Oh, excuse me. The slide is a little bit overlapped. Let's see if I can tweak that real quick, make it look nicer. Everybody can see what they need to see. The point here is, number 2, the purpose of the brain and nervous system. I alluded to it earlier a moment ago. Is to control and coordinate the functions of all the cells and tissues and organs in the body, and to adapt the organism to the environment. And that's what I was just talking about with the sweat, with the shivers, all those sorts of basic biological responses to one's environment. And I have a slide here. We'll get to it in a minute. I love showing it. And everyone I show it to in my clinic always has a laugh with it as well. So let's take a look. So really, let's get that to the concept still, okay? Is there anything the nervous system does not regulate? Well, the answer is no. Okay, so we literally live our lives through the nervous system. Now this gets important for the concept of the book here, and bear with me because this is foundational. And the importance of going through the foundation each and every time, I allude to Michael Jordan. And if anyone's not familiar with Michael Jordan, he's one of the most famous NBA basketball players of all time. And ultimately, one of the things he always, from what I understand, is that he spent significant time doing the basics over and over and over and over and over again. And the purpose of that is to become a master at the most simple thing, the most basic thing. And when you are the master at the most simple, basic thing, you can build significant foundation on that. In fact, there's like a quote out there. It's like, something to do with a martial arts scenario where, you know, the man who practices, I fear the man who practices one punch 10,000 times versus 10,000 punches one time each. So the idea is, well, I think you figured it out for yourself. That practice, that repetition, that cultivation of the body's ability to handle those forces and deliver those forces are only won through time. That's the concept. Iron sharpens iron. So literally, if there's so let's go back one slide. So we literally live our lives through our nervous system. So there's interference to this system. No, there's a fancy term for that, okay? There's an industry term for that, and that's important to know because it has a lot of layers of meaning, and that has to do with the philosophy of life and so much more about how we work and receive and integrate with life. However, it's got a couple syllables. I'll pronounce it here. Subluxation. Subluxation. At ion. Subluxation. Okay, so I just dropped a little bit of philosophy there. Excuse me, I kept doing that. Keep going back and forth to the to my website. And so this, okay, it's funny. I keep looking at it. So let me draw my attention to it. I love doing this thing because it's like flipping a book open, and then you go boom. Okay, what was important about this page is exactly what's important about why I keep flipping back to my website. Right here in the middle, energy healing, okay? Right here in the book. I flipped over to this page. What is this? This is an EKG cap, or excuse me, an EEG cap. And then over here down, on this side, we have the wires of, and if it's a chest. And so it's a EKG. And so they're measuring the brain and measuring the heart, brainwave frequency states and the rhythms of it and the cycles of it and different components of the rhythm. It's not just a simple thing. There's lots of complexity in there. I did have some introductory courses to reading different graphs for the heart, and it's a beautiful art and science. And there's some wonderful history within the chiropractic profession about listening to heart valve sounds and the diagnosis available with that, or I'll say this: the clues that lead to understanding the adaptive physiological function for the stressors at hand. That's a mouthful. Say that a couple times fast. Well, with that being said, let's continue here. So the idea is, and bear with me, the concepts are important, and I'll go back to why concepts are important here in a second. Okay, let's get to the right slide. So when your body has subluxation, your body cannot function at its fullest capacity. It's no longer self-healing or self-regulating at 100%. And so the longer this interference is present, think about it, the longer that there's a problem present in your life, well, the more damaging and devastating the effects are to that issue. Well, in this case, it's your health, and because it's within, it has to do with the structural foundation and basically the informational network. You know, the nervous system is not just a group of wires. There's so much more to the communication. It's like exciting, especially if you're into the physics and electromagnetics and basically anyone who's into internet and computer programming and things like this and engineering, electrical engineering. It's fascinating conversations with people that have studied that at a different angle. But the human body is just like that. So how I started and what my job is to identify, so locate, analyze, and release the interference patterns. These are the things called subluxations. And then ultimately, as people come in with the same issue time and time again, after there is resolution, then we need to investigate their environment, their life, their habits, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, chemical, nutritional, environmental, whatever that is. That's the work of getting well in this world. Now, there is other options, of course, but let's take a look at the scenarios out there. And you know, there is people believe that there is a one pill kind of solution for any issue out there, but that just builds a cascading events of effects. So what we want to do is help the system run more optimally, bring balance to the system. Resiliency, adaptability, these are the kind of things that we set our intentions on, that are focused on, and can see this, so that results in a different kind of care, if I could say it that way. Let's go back to this slide. This is what I was referring to a couple times. Concepts. Concepts and precepts. So these are formed from just infinite number of data points that are flowing around in our universe, and our nervous system's picking up. A lot of it's subconscious. Oops. Must have had my cursor in here typing on numbers. Excuse me. So these things, these formulae are beliefs, are perceptions. Basically, we filter our experience, what we think could happen, our choices, the things that show up for us. So we make decisions based on how we see it at that time in life. I mean, Lord, how many times have you heard, if I knew then what I know now? Oh my goodness, I said that a million times. All right. So decisions, preferences, responses, consequences, all these things. Of course, consequences, that's like the karma, come around, come back. That's the natural law effects of when you plant certain seeds. Of course, things are going to grow, and the fruit of those things that grow. And that's some analogy out there for everybody. However, hopefully we can understand the concept of planting something in soil. The quality of that soil will nurture that thing that grows, and then what that bears the fruit of is the result, and the result, aka the fruit, is what we eat, is our our just desserts. You may have heard that term before. Basically the boomerang coming back around, the cycle of life. And I love, actually I'm gonna pull it up right now because I love showing it. And this is a universal concept that there, think, as we're told, the different things that spin in circles. And there's so much wonderful mathematics with that. I'm not going to get into all of that stuff right now. Let's take a look at moving forward in the slides here. Oh, here's some circle things for you. This is a clock that shows different where the stars are, where we are in time, so to speak. This is an image of many people refer to the stars as a sky clock, and that's why people talk about astrology, and it's about cycles of time, and to say the karma that goes with each of those components. So we'll get the conversation of metaphysics out there for away for a minute. Let's talk straight like magnets. Think about magnets floating around on like fishing line. Okay. And I'll start this module here. Hopefully it's not too loud. I think the volume's off. However, once it loads up, I'll share with you the concept here of why people talk about astrology and why that's important, and how that plays a role in your emotional state, because this all plays an effect on your brain, on your mind, your thinking patterns. Let's see, it did come through. If it's not too loud, turn that down. And so what I'm getting at is, just like if it's hot outside and you start sweating, these forces have an effect on thinking states. Consider this. Consider hearing a song, and depending on what age you are, say you've been out of high school at least 10 years. Okay, and you think back to certain songs. Maybe you were big into the prom, so you remember the prom themes and things like this. Maybe you're a sports guy, and in the locker room they played the same. I know when I was playing football in high school, we played the same CD before every game, or at least the same mixtape. Back in the day, excuse me. A lot of Welcome to the Jungle, Guns N' Roses type stuff. I could go on, but I'll reserve that for another time. However, the point is, this synchronized us, right? We got into this rhythm as a team, listening to the same music. And it was like, it just prepped us. So these moments of our mind can be brought back in an instant from a smell, from a sound, from a taste. And each of these cosmic forces, these cosmic bodies, if I want to use more appropriate terms, And let me just, I'm going to change the date here. I'm going to go back a couple years. I can do that here. I'm going to go back. Let's see. I was going to stop randomly and see what it comes up with. And we'll stop right there. August 2016. That's actually funny. I was talking about that today. Huh. This is when I formulated my business as it is known today. Well, that's fun to talk about. So we're gonna hit this button here, excuse me, and we're gonna play. But we're gonna go fast forward like 15 days a second, okay? And this watch, it's like a clock. I think I want to zoom out if I can here. Yes. I'm going to zoom out a little bit because there's other planets. You can see Pluto way up there, and let me show you the angle at which it comes, right? It comes swooping down. Hopefully you can see that right there, that line. You can see the inner planets. Zoom in a little bit. They're zipping around, and these all have well-known forces, and they play on the sun and how the sun does its things, and how, well, that causes weather. My goodness, we, excuse me, Ben Davidson, suspicious observer with a 0 as the name. Dive into him and his channel. I'm gonna pull that up. And they, these kind of guys have, their data tracking and NASA and all the US .gov stuff, and they're writing papers and scientific articles and books. I mean, these people, this guy Ben Davidson is just a phenomenal individual, and so many people refer to him. I could dive into the Thunderbolt the Thunderbolt project. So it's just about the electromagnetic nature of what it is to be a human being. And let me zoom out a little bit more. And so he does actually like a daily report of how the sun and what's going on the earth. And actually, I love listening to his stuff. But there's all kinds of great material. And you go in there and you start to get an appreciation for how grand of effect of an environment that we are in as a species here on this planet. And at the same time, we know, and I have flipped over, I think it's page 40 here. We know that the human body itself, I just had it, my goodness gracious. Here it is, page 50. The human body itself, and let me, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to pull it up on this book. You can see the picture, actually. Sorry about that. All right, so here we are. You can actually see the cap where this is an old school image where they're measuring the brain waves here, and based on your thought, your emotional states, it can be measured, and of course it can be affected from the outside. And here is this is someone getting their heart checked, and there's pads measuring the heartbeats, and we're all familiar with this stuff. And so at the same time, we have forces on the outside of us, and there's forces on the inside of us. All right, so let me go over here. So there's a lot of things happening with the sky, so that's why there's a lot of intensity going on. And so here's an image I want to share with you. This is known information. In this case, the sound, the tones of the octave F are associated with these organs in the body that are you can see in green, but like the pancreas, and look, there's the pineal gland, there's the liver meridian, even the ears. So think about this. This is conditional love versus unconditional love. If you're finding this interesting, by the way, give a thumbs up. That helps other people who are into this topic dive into this material. And what it's about is learning the language within. All right, so as we begin to shift our beliefs, and this is actually, I've been going around the bend talking about the topic, but as we shift, the topic tonight is changing your story, changing your life. As you changed your life, changing the story is kind of like a step prior. It's like as you change the belief structure of what you think you are in a certain area of life. Now I have something that I do with my coaching clients. Let me pull it up. I'm going to show it right now. It's called the assessment wheel. I'm going to credit Dr. Larry Goodman with this one in my life. Personal mentor of mine, awesome cat. Transformed my life. But anyway, I'm going to pull this up. I want to show you. think of, there's different ways of categorizing life. I can, um, and so with that being said, I think I got it right. Maybe I'll be lucky, maybe I won't. We'll see. Can I get that? Oh, not that one. All right, so we'll figure that out. For that being said, I do offer a free breakthrough coaching session. Let me drop that link right now. It's kind of associated with another product, another program that I do, and the way to get there. In fact, let me talk about that. It's a mindset based program, and it's called visionlivingmindset.com. And in that, I could have prepped this better. Now I know what to do. So in that is a downloadable ebook about how to shift your mindset or what to expect, and different quotes that are important. And so we can then take the process that I show in the protocols that are on. Actually, a lot of this is free content that is put out there to give everyone a lot of tools. And so there's strategies and techniques that that will take the energy that gets overactive here. In this case, we're talking about conditional love versus unconditional love. And so let's think about a topic. Perhaps it's family matters, relationships. And I promise you, if you're a person, you're a human being, there's some level of chaos in that area of your life. And so what that means, every time you think about that kind of stuff, these glands, these organs, these body parts, these meridians act up. Now, if you know what to do, you know what you're going through, and you're wise enough to pick the proper musical tone that balances, in this case, it's the octave B, which represents balancing and calming around these factors of unconditional love. That's why music soothes the savage beast. You get the right tones, the right frequency, the right rhythm, and the attack mode can be turned off. I've actually personally witnessed it. In fact, I'm involved in a lot of different techniques with technology and with no expense. In fact, there's a free, there's a bunch of free things. My goodness gracious. All right, so here's how we do the breakthrough coaching call right here. And in this is an opportunity to connect with me. You fill out the pre-survey, fill out every question, and we hop on a call and I'll help you break through. And we do it based on the science of different neurologic patterns. And so literally there's a wiring in your brain and your body and your beingness somewhere. We're going to unwire it to get you unstuck, to help launch you in new ways. And that's a gift. And my hope, if people love what I do, they'll sign up for my group coaching or my one-on-one coaching programs. And this is a 16-week program. We go over the loss of success. We go over different protocols with the energy matrix of the human body, how to manage that and shift that. The whole thing is great. The other thing I want to share with you is, because not everyone wants to do that kind of thing. People want to, stick to their own home environment, do things on their own. And that's why I have this. So when people go to my website, drkeving.com, go to the shop section right here. And you end up here, and this is actually the latest and greatest quantum, radionic, Tesla, Einstein stuff out there. And it's for your own home usage. It's actually being integrated in as many holistic clinics, healthcare clinics, even straight up medical clinics will be able to use it. I'm not going to go into detail. However, the technology is so high quality, it may begin to replace much of the technology we use to measure the human body right now. It may make it, all of it, inert, to be honest, which would change a lot of things in a positive way. Some of the testing is more harmful than going through some of the issues. In fact, getting some of the holistic healthcare around some of these things can be well worth it. However, the whole point is, as we begin to understand, when we change our story, we change our belief, literally in our pain. Okay, this is the key point. That's all I call people checked out. So this is the key point. If anyone stayed to the end, this is where it really need to be. In the free gift download, you'll also get access to this chart. Just a heads up on there, and I'll bring up the address. drkeving.com right there. And so in this isn't the full on in-depth chart. Let me scroll to the top. But what we're looking at is the body region, body area, emotions, and symbolism. The reason this is important because the human body, the human brain has conscious and subconscious and unconscious. And I'm looking for something to show you here. Excuse me. Well, think of an iceberg. Okay, that's the picture I'm looking for. I don't have it right at the tip of my hands here. And you have this iceberg, and you've heard the idea of 10% of the brain. Well, that's part of the iceberg that's above the water. And there's the gigantic portion, the portion that has all the mass, all the weight, all the importance, all the effect, is 90%. It's under the waters. And there's, you know what? I know how I've done this before, is I show image, conscious and subconscious iceberg. You know, if you know what to search, you know what to search for, you can get some great images. It's great information. That's the key. So here's a good one. Kind of just the basic one, right? So the idea is that, get zoomed in, is that our body is constantly speaking to us through the subconscious mind. Yes, there's the conscious stuff. That's the stuff we're aware of, right? Focused on the problems at hand. However, there's stuff under the radar that's extremely important. And so how does your body get your attention? Pain. And excuse me, like I just said, I had a hard run today and I'm really coughing it up now. However, that being said, pain is the language your body uses to get your attention when you're not paying attention at a deep enough or more intricate enough level. And so in that pain, yes, there's going to be physical things that people can find and measure, whatever on an x-ray, whatever on a blood test, whatever, it's going to be there. That's the nature of our reality. However, there's going to be a mind component that's always wired in. The body is harmoniously wired. It's a matrix of interconnectedness. And for anyone that likes to look into the data and the information, what I'm going to type in is, let me see if I can get it so you can see what I'm typing, but it's called Neuro Immuno. Okay, here we are. Thank goodness. Journal of Psychoneuroimmunology. I had a little brain fog there. So I know it has all these different components. There's actually a couple different names of this study. Let me see if we can get it in a little more clear view here. I'm going to be wrapping up with this here in a second. I'll bring this right. A little bit much easier. I don't know which way it was, who was affecting who the most. All right, so here we are. The science of psychoneuroimmunology. All right, it basically proves this image right here. That different emotional states have connections to our physical body and different body organs. Here's another one for you. When there's some suppressed emotional expression. Think about that idea, suppressed emotional expression. Think about where you feel that in your body. This is the organs that are being affected right here. So when one dives into each of these organs and what they do, from the large intestine to the prostate so urination, that's for men, of course, the stomach meridian. You think about the analogies of stomach, digestion versus urination, large intestine. So if we're not digesting, it's suppressed. It's like a block in our guts. Headaches due to diet. The gut is the second brain, and the nervous system control and the structures that support that stomach area, of course, are in the lower back. It's beautiful. And there's a connection right to the vagus nerve, which is at the upper portion of the neck is called a cranial nerve, and it's right there, right at the temporal areas. We can see that highlighted right there in the head area. And then, of course, it affects the enzymes and the metabolic functions. All right. So this is a program. Excuse me. My goodness gracious. If anyone's wondering how to get access to this program that I'm showing you images from, it's right here. It's called the AO scan. And actually, it's a phenomenal technology. You click on this button right there, and you go in, and there you can read a little bit of the text I copied from the website. Right here down below, though, there's a bunch of images, actually 8 or 9 of them. Gives it a little bit more in depth. And if somebody really wants to go into a nice introduction, there's a couple things on the YouTube channel. And there's a playlist called AO Scan, I believe. But it's all things I've posted recently. And the technology is phenomenal. We are energetic beings. And there's been some changes in the allowance of certain things to be released. And there's companies that have phenomenal things to put the power into your hands. I do believe I have something here. I'll close out with that. So stay tuned. I'll close out with that. And you can see what I'm talking about that interests you. Find me on YouTube. Or go to my website, drkeving.com. Reach out. I dropped a couple links in the chat to go over a couple things, downloads. In fact, this the world of internet business is free content. There's free goodies in every avenue in which you can connect with me. And if I can find a final link, I'll drop it in right now. Also, I'll drop that link while the final 2-minute video is showing you a little bit of introduction to that technology. It's wonderful. So until next week, every Monday night, this is I go live 7 o'clock transformation show. We talk about the content of the book, a little bit more about how the body and the mind work together for your good, for your personal empowerment. Because as you learn to understand and have that awareness game figured out, you can begin to awaken to new abilities within your own body and heal those things you need to be healing. And then actually take the next step, which is what I'm doing next at 8 o'clock with the Vision Living Mindset programs. And tonight we have we're on week 11 of 16 in the Winning in Every Situation webinar series, where we go over the laws of success. And tonight we're going over accurate thought. And yes, it is what you think it is, but it's also much more. So I invite you to go there, and that's visionlivingmindset.com/winning. I could drop a couple things here. Here's that link right there. I'll drop that. I'll drop you'll get access to the ebook if you go to this too. It's one of the gifts in this program as well. I'll drop that other link as well. Here it is. Introduction to Decode Your Pain. And the whole purpose of this is giving people the tools that want the tools, and a lot of the concepts that I use in my personal life, in my practice. And I give full access to the one-on-one clients and the group coach clients and the patients that come in, and as much as I can when I do these type of lives. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your attention, your focus. And if you got value, please type in value, give a thumbs up, share with a friend, comment on it. That engages me, engages the algorithms to connect with other like-minded people. And it's actually something we can use to our advantage to connect with people that like this kind of thing. And this means more connections for you, more network for you. And that's always a good thing I've noticed. Right now, we're moving into more community efforts. And so the concept I love is we all rise with the rising tide. And this is a consciousness game. So what I'm talking about is, as I do good things for you and others, good things can happen back for me. So I rise by raising others. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'm Dr. Kevin. I will play that video about the technology here. And I'll see you next Monday night. And if you're joining in the webinar, I'll see you in a few minutes.
Have you ever felt frustrated waiting to be seen when you're not feeling your best? Or ever struggled through tests and expensive procedures without ever finding real relief? Imagine if you could get a better understanding of your overall well-being right now, in minutes. What would that mean to you, or to your family? We'd like you to know there's a whole new way to improve your comprehension surrounding your wellness, using a total body scanner unlike any other, right in your own home. This groundbreaking new technology helps you to better understand your body's needs and wellness status, and it's available to you and your family right now. Here's how the science works. Every organ in the human body vibrates at a particular frequency. When illness appears, this frequency changes. Think about it like tuning a guitar. When the string frequencies are incorrect, the music will not sound harmonious. When your body's frequencies are restored, you restore harmony to your whole body, energizing and optimizing your mental, emotional, and nutritional states. We found that people who experienced this technology were so excited they started telling everyone. So we also created an income opportunity where people can earn a little extra by sharing the product. No more wondering, no more worrying. Take charge of creating your best life. Learn more about how you can retune, revitalize, and restore your own body harmony by clicking the link below.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Kevin Jarena. This is the first introductory video in becoming your own healer.